One and only Journey Montana joining me here for Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 365, iHeartRadio, one of the up and coming princesses, queens of R&B. And she is here joining me here on the show here tonight. Eclipse is on the way. You is out now. That's a new single with Journey. Welcome to the
Yeah.
show. How's everything going?
Hi, everything is great. How are you?
Yeah, everything's going good. Everything is going good, moving along in life, and can't complain.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. How's 2024 feeling for you so far? I mean, you've been getting a lot of praise. You got the new single out with you and Journey. You got the debut album on the way. How is 2024 feeling?
So exciting. I am really excited for everybody to hear this new era that I'm going into, stepping into. I feel like, yeah, it's just I'm evolving with music as a person, as a woman. I feel like this is me like stepping into my womanhood, being like 21 now. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this new era, like real music that I'm really um being very intentional about, I feel like now. And yeah, I'm just really grateful to be doing what I love and, full time. And yeah, I'm just really grateful and I'm really excited for the future. And I'm really excited for everybody to hear the project. Me and Kemper worked very, very hard on it, and I think it's amazing personally. So I'm just really excited, really grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been doing your thing for a while now. It's the Star Girl EP. I did check that out. I mean, I've been tuned in for what you've been doing for a while, just being tapped into the hip hop and R&B space. So you already know. But I'm looking forward to this upcoming debut studio album. And how did you get connected with DJ Camper?
Actually, like a family friend is one of his family friends. And he had been, I guess, telling him about me for a while. And, I knew I wanted to work on my project and I was like, okay, it's about to be album mode time, but I need like a producer that like we can just click with because, you can work with a lot of different producers who are renowned and they have all of these things, but sometimes it still just won't really click because it's not really about what they've done, it's about like the chemistry. So I was really just really trying to find somebody that I clicked with creatively. So yeah, I was just telling him about it, and then he went and told Camper about it, and then yeah, Camper was like, let's do it. And I just happened to be in LA when he said yes, and then we linked up and it was just chemistry immediately. It happened so perfectly, and honestly, things like that, I feel like it's just synergy and vibrations just lining up and meeting where they're supposed to. So yeah, just really exciting stuff. Everything happens for a reason and everything happens the way it's supposed to. So really cool.
It does. And I'm looking forward to hearing it because you understand the chemistry that's there, especially in music. A lot of days people just want the big name right away and it may not work for them. And this is going to work for you because you feel that the chemistry is there and just what we've heard off the new single You. But you got so much going on with All American acting and that. What are some, because we'll get into that, but what are some roles that you're looking to portray in the near future here? Because I know that role fit who you were as a person. You could relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely just want to get more creative with it. Like I love the because I audition very often and I love auditioning. I feel like that's one of the most fun parts. Even if I get it, I don't get it because I still get to play the character for just the time that I get to play it. And I like to do like the funny accents and the different types of characters. I remember when I was little, I used to be in musical theater classes and things like that. And I used to be so opposed to playing like mean girls because I was like, no, nobody's gonna like me. But I recently did an audition for like a mean girl character and it's so fun. I recently did another audition for like this really cool show that had like two realities. Like I'm really into sci-fi, so like anything like that, I feel it could be really cool. But I definitely want to get more into movies in the future. But yeah, I love film and television. It's like a cool thing that I've always done on the side, that a lot of people don't know that I was always doing. So
Screenwriting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, and then I also enjoy screenwriting and things like that. So yeah, I have a film has a place in my heart.
How did you get into screenwriting? Was there a course that you took in school? How did you get into that aspect of the field?
Actually, I don't know. I had an idea for a show.
Mm.
And I literally just wrote the entire thing in my notes. Like I just wrote like the whole thing like it was a book. Like this happens and then this happens and this happens and then this happens like literally the entire thing. Making it up like as I went. And I was telling my mom about it and she was like, "Oh, like I know how like you're supposed to do this." 'Cause I was like, "Is there like a format like that I could use to like actually make this?" And she told me about this thing called Final Draft. So I downloaded it, paid the $1 million, not literally, but I paid for the subscription and stuff, and then I wrote out the entire script. I wrote like 4 different versions, and yeah, I mean, I just kind of figured it out. YouTube University, but yeah, I do it for fun. I've been working on like a few other ones. Like I have like 3 other ideas that I've been writing on and just like playing around with it. And if the opportunity comes, like I have stuff and I think it's pretty good. So it's like a little side passion of mine.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Would you want to do something in conjunction with a partnership, or you look at maybe starting up your own production company? Is that something that you've thought about?
I don't even know. I
You don't
mean,
even.
I mean, I would, yeah. Definitely. I definitely enjoy film. Like I even being on set when I was an All American directing, I felt like a big impact that was left on me was the Black women directors. Um, there were like women of color directing and show running, and it was just really, really inspiring. Like I had never seen anything like that because they don't really show that on TV and stuff. And yeah, it was just really inspiring. So I love like the directing side, the screenplays, like the show running. I love all of it. I definitely would be open, if that, unfolds. But yeah, I definitely have passion for all of those things.
You speak about casting directors because once you get into the good graces and once the casting director knows who you are and the roles that you could play, you got a green light. Now, some of the casting directors I see on some of these shows today, I mean, I think we could fit you into some of these positions that they put these other guys in, but I think a lot of them like to take cash on the side, if you want my honest opinion about it. So, I mean, when we look at from your position, how did you get in touch with this casting director that has believed in you this far?
Well, I have my agent that I signed to. I had an agent when I was little. Had an agent. I got my first agent when I was like maybe like 9, and I had that agent until I was about 14.
Mm,
And then I was kind of just doing kind of freelance things like through word of mouth like auditioning, like BET, all sorts of random things. A lot of the issues were that I was underage, so I couldn't really do
okay.
stuff. But yeah, in 2020 I got a new agent that I'm with now. And yeah, I was just auditioning for so long. Like I didn't book All American for like a year. I was auditioning
I did
for a
hear
year.
about that. Took you a year. That
Yeah,
was around the pandemic too, because I think you submitted for it and you forgot about it. Then they said
yeah.
fly to LA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was auditioning all through the pandemic, all self-tapes, because before when I was younger, it was like in-person auditions. And it was like you would come and you would sit in the waiting room and then you go in and meet everybody and you do it again and do a different character. And like it was very interactive. But now it's just all self-tapes. And during COVID, it like threw me for a loop because like even auditioning for my agent, it was self-tape. So yeah, I was auditioning for a year, and Kim Coleman is actually the casting director who casted me for All American, and I had just been auditioning for her a lot, like a lot of her things. And I think it's really just like when they see you enough, like they'll like have you noted like, "Oh, I have this type of character, like let me send this out to her." Um yeah, so that was I feel like what kind of got me on her radar. She was just seeing me so much because I was auditioning for literally everything she was casting for. Um, and then yeah, it just made sense. And I feel like it was like for a while, I just based off of like the tempo of the auditions, I felt like she was trying to cast me for something. And I think it was like as soon as something made sense, it was like immediate,
Yeah,
yeah.
something always has to fit, especially when you're talented. You can't just leave someone out, and I think that's why they made it work, and it worked for you with All American. I did hear. I think you did go out for the audition for BMF. I think I did hear
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
did. I did audition for BMF. I auditioned for the little sister. Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was a little too, I looked at it after because I always kind of do that. I'll be like, okay, who did they cast like instead? And it usually makes sense why they didn't cast me.
Uh,
So that's
you
why it
gotta.
never hurts. Yeah, it's always for a reason. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't have.
I would look at it as their loss.
Yeah, Everything happens how it's supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But I can definitely see you expanding there in the acting world because it is your passion. But I did want to get back to the music. It is early on because you always had this talent to where Mariah Carey's vocal coach was in a Walgreens and heard you crying.
Yeah, that's actually one of my like my first baby stories. I was a crier when I was little. I was a like newborn screaming all the time, immediately. And yeah, it's a story. My mom and me were in Walgreens and I was a little baby and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. And then Mariah Carey's vocal coach comes up and she's like, your baby is crying in perfect pitch. And my mom's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I'm Mariah Carey's vocal coach. Like your baby's crying in perfect pitch. Like WTF. But it's actually funny because my dad is a singer. So when my mom kind of got that, it was like, oh, okay, she's definitely gonna sing also. It was kind of just that like confirming it.
Yeah, you had the two signs there with your father singing, and then that it's almost a sign from God right there.
Yeah.
But you were always into improv and musical theater, as you mentioned before, and then you were around because your sister went to a art school, so Kid the Whizzes people were around
Yeah.
you as well.
Yeah, yeah. My older sisters, it's like a pretty good age gap. So I was like 10 years old and she was in high school at the time. Yeah, and she was just hanging out with them a lot like when they were like in their prime with the train dancing and like going on. I think he went on the X Factor or something. I remember that was like a big deal for like our whole family because like we knew the whole his whole circle so well. So it was just like, like family, but I think that really impacted like how I am creatively because I remember just like the fashion that they were like doing, it was so like quirky, like the shoes and the hair and the nicknames and the clothes. Like it was all so like flashy, like edgy and outside of the box. So I think that definitely like impacted how I view like fashion and expression and all of those things because they were just so creative in like so many different ways. And even like him going on the X Factor, I felt like that was so huge for me because I'm like, I know you. Like you're from up the block and I'm sitting here watching you on TV. Like this is crazy. And just like as a little girl, like seeing that it was like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes to show you that because he was so close that you could even achieve that if you put the hard
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Literally it was like, oh, this people like you can go for it. And I think that audacity that they all had. Um just like with the videos and with the content, like before content was really like a thing, like they were doing content and like all of these things and putting themselves out there. Like it was just like, oh wow, like the audacity, it was contagious, 100%.
Hey, are you in Atlanta right now, or are you back in New York?
No, I'm in New York. I'm in New
You're in New
York.
York, yeah, because I heard your journey of just being born in LA, then going out to Harlem, then eventually getting out to Atlanta, then coming back around. I think was it middle school you came back to Harlem?
Yeah, like towards, well, it was like towards the end of like high school. Um
Okay.
like half of high school. But yeah, I went to because my whole family is from New York. I'm the only person that wasn't born here. It was literally like my mom moved to LA, had me, and then came back to New York. And yeah, I lived in New York for that it's like till I was like 3 until I was like maybe like 12. And then I did like most of high school in Atlanta, and then COVID happened around like my graduating year. So I came back to New York in like my last year and a half of high school. And yeah, I've been out here ever since. But I definitely feel like, Atlanta kind of started my artist development. Even being in front of those casting directors, like a lot of the casting directors that I'm auditioning for now, when I was in Atlanta, that's where they're based. I like met, a lot of them just from like like I said, I was just going out to random things and just putting myself out there through word of mouth. So I think even that, and then I was in a girl group for a little while in Atlanta. So I feel like that it just kind of started the artist development.
Yeah, you took a course out there too.
Yeah, I was in like I don't know, it was like a performance like not after school. It wasn't a school program, but it was it's this company called AGI
Mhm.
Entertainment, and they had like a lot of kids from Disney, a lot of like, it was a lot of child actors and singers that they had, and they kind of honed their craft there. It was like a little community. Um, yeah, very, very amazing. A lot of different assets and tools that I had out there that I was just like using and I just had at my disposal. Very grateful for all of that. Like I said, I feel like everything happens for a reason because I had a lot of training that some people don't get to have being in Atlanta. So yeah.
How do you like being back in New York? I know you're not big on the winters. You leave the state once it gets cold, I heard.
Yeah, yeah, I can't. I don't know. I mean, I love New York. New York is home. That's really what it is because even when I was living in Atlanta, I was coming back home every summer, like every break. I was always home because this is home at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know. I like to travel. I'm travel Barbie. I like to travel and yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna get cold quick because you could feel it right now.
I know it is. It's
It's
already
pretty
getting
cool
cold.
for August for my
Yeah,
taste.
yeah.
It's gonna be a cold winter, so I think we should all
It is.
hibernate, to be honest
It
with you,
is.
somewhere
That's
else.
what I say. I say I hibernate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go somewhere else, no doubt about it. But I did hear about your dream collaboration, SZA and Drake. Those are the two that you really
Yes.
want to work with.
Yes. I those are like my two. My top two, my Scorpio twins. I grew up like listening to Drake, listening to SZA. I feel like even when I'm in the studio, um, I pull a lot from their creativity and like how they think outside of the box and even just how they tell stories, I think has impacted like how I approach things creatively. So like yeah, I literally always say all the time, I'm like, I'm made out of them. So I think that's definitely like my dream collab for sure. I feel like SZA's like one of the first artists that I fell in love with, like obsessed, especially like in my teen years, because I feel like when you're like a teenager, that's when you really are like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. You're getting your style and like figuring out who you are a little bit more. So SZA definitely played a big role in that. Yeah, and even like the project and stuff, like I just admire her so much and she inspires me so much and even the same thing like seeing another person that I feel like I see so much of myself in doing what she's doing, it's just really inspiring and it kind of puts a battery in my back and keeps me up if I'm ever feeling low.
How did you feel about their collaboration, Slime You Out?
Oh, fire.
Fire.
Fire. Yeah, fire always.
What was your era of Drake? Because you mentioned that you grew up listening to him. What was your era?
um the first Drake album that I became like obsessed with was Nothing Was the Same.
Okay, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, Connect was the first song that I learned all the words to in my life. Like,
Oh, when he go just swanging, right? That one.
yeah,
Yeah.
slang. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I remember that album. Because I'm very critical on Drake's newer music because after Nothing Was the Same, I always say nothing was the same. That was his I always say that because there's just nothing that's came close to anything he's done since then and before then to me. But he's still releasing. I know he's kind of been the laugh of all jokes this year with the Kendrick beef, but he's still releasing music. I saw he released 100 gigs
Honestly,
the other
the
day.
the little 3 song EP he just dropped, I'm bumping it. I'm sorry. I'm bumping it. I love Drake.
Yeah, he's definitely had a rough year, but let's see if he can. I think he's gonna recover, but just because of who he is, of course. But
Yeah, it's like I think Drake is one of the few people who could take a hit like that or take all the hits like that and it doesn't really it's not detrimental at all. Yeah.
no, he's in that same. It kind of reminds me of Nas and Jay Z because Nas ethered Jay Z, and it
Yeah.
just didn't even
Yeah,
break
it's
him that
like
much, which is crazy.
yeah, I think it's honestly fair. It's like actually fair. And it's like you can actually see it because I don't think it'll really affect any of them. I mean, either of them in like a big, big, big way. Um, so like it's really just like sparring. It's fun.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you getting any closer to a female collab? I know you wanted to do something with some female hip hop artists.
Yeah, I definitely have been talking about that. I just recently did a collaboration with a female artist. I'm not gonna say who yet, but definitely working on those things. I love the girls. I love the girls and making girly music for the girls. Like so much fun. Yeah, I definitely want to work with like some female hip hop artists though. I've been working and like talking about working and collaborating with R&B girls. But I feel like, it's always like the rapper singer contrast, but like, and it's always like girl boy, but like let's do girl girl singer rapper, like, I love that combination.
Yeah, and the music needs to be positive too, because I know with your new songs that's what's so great about them with you and Journey,
Yeah.
because it's because you're big on the messaging and just I know it's a personal journey for you now, which we'll get into as far as your writing, how you approach everything now. But I did hear that you couldn't listen to Future after a while because of his music, and we know what he talks about, and it's just you want to be more positive because that's how it was in the early 2000s, where you could listen to these songs and
Yeah.
it's pretty much toxic what a lot of the artists are doing today, but you're going in the other direction. I think that's important when you want to work with other people as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a bigger picture thing. And also, like me personally, like my music is so much of who I am. And so as I evolve and as I like get more into like my spirituality and my creativity and like learning about myself and who I am and what I like and how I think, and what affects me and the things that I've gone through, it's like it's gonna reflect in my music. So I just feel like the biggest thing for me was just I just noticed that I was writing these songs, putting them out, and then 3 months later, I would be in the situation that I made up. So
Wow. So it's
it's
almost
just
you
like,
manifested that situation.
yeah, I felt like I was manifesting a lot through my music. And it was just like something that I noticed where I was like, wait a second, hold on. Like, I just wrote a song about this a few months ago, and now I'm literally like, I made that up. So yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things for me. And I definitely had like an era, like I went through a really bad heartbreak, and I was just like, and I think my music really reflected the inner turmoil I was having. So yeah, I just am looking back on that. I think it was necessary. It's, part of growth. Like I don't regret any song that I've ever made or anything that I've put out. Like I think it all serves its purpose. Um but yeah, I just feel like the era that I'm in, like I want to listen. Like it doesn't have to be like super boring and like kumbaya, but I definitely want to make sure that like if this manifests and if this happens, would I be okay with that? And would it be for the better? And for other people too, like I think it's just a responsibility because it is possible. And like what you were saying, like back in the day, like they used to like that was yeah, that was the undertone always. It was always positive and that was what was put at the forefront. And just being, yeah, considerate of my listeners because, you're saying things over and over again and you're memorizing them and it's stuck in your head. Like it's possible for it to manifest. So just all of that. Like I love my supporters and I love the people who listen to my music and I want well for them and I want to pour into their lives into in a positive way and make them feel good about themselves and not make them feel angry or sad or bad or maybe emotional and feeling things is always necessary and I can't really subject like emotions because you can feel whatever you want but as for like my words and my lyrics I feel like they have a lot of power so just being responsible with that power that's in
I
my music.
agree. And I always look at the perfect song is with Nelly and Kelly Rowland Dilemma. That was the perfect early
Yeah,
2000s song. And it was positive. And that's,
yeah.
I mean, I think because you mentioned heartbreak, and I just think just everything that's going on now with the toxic times, I think we were sold fantasies and a bad bill of goods because that's not what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bunch of baloney. That's what it is. It's unbelievable. But we
Well,
have you to have us here for the rescue to save us from all the negative messages, and that's what you're doing. Because Journey was an interesting song for me because you brought your family into it. So how was that experience, including your family, even in the video?
yeah. Oh, it was heart pulling, heart wrenching. I was like, oh my gosh. Everybody the whole time was trying not to cry during the video. But yeah, I mean when I wrote the song, it was actually Camper's idea. He played me the track and he was like, I have an idea for this one. Like, you should introduce yourself. And I was like, bet. I was like, I love that. You don't gotta say nothing else. Bet. And I immediately went in and I was like, my name is Journey. And everybody was like, What are you doing here? And yeah, I never really spoke about my grandfather in my music before, but he's played such a big role in my life. Me and my sisters, like we didn't really grow up with our father in our lives, so he was kind of like our father figure, and it's all women, so he was the only guy just taking care of all of us. And yeah, it was just a beautiful relationship, and I think it was very healing a little bit for me to speak on those things and put it out there and express myself and release it. But yeah, the music video, it was only right for me to have my grandma in there. And actually, funny story, the little girl who's playing like the little me, she lives in my building.
Wow.
And everybody, everybody, people like from Jersey who I know that have come over here and run into her, like people in the building, like it's like a running joke in the whole thing about how she looks like me. For when I was like a little girl, like she looks just like me. And I saw her one time like walking into the building, and I like turned around, I saw her face, it freaked me out, and I ran upstairs because I was like, this is freaky. I was like, I have to go because she literally looks just like me. Like I even had like a birthmark when I was little on my face, and she has it. It's so creepy. But yeah, it was only right. I was like, let me make the call, got her in it. Got my grandmother to be in it. She was a little hesitant, but I was like, please, Nana. I got my mom in there, my sister. Like it was really wholesome, but I felt like just playing tribute to them because I wouldn't be who I am without them. And yeah, I'm just grateful for all the support and what they've poured into me, and yeah, the experiences that I've had through them.
And that's important. They say that everyone has a twin too, like a second twin in the world. And maybe that's your twin. Maybe that truly is.
It's so creepy, but I love it. She's the sweetest little girl. Love it. Love her.
Uh, how did it feel to be on Tank's show? Because he was someone that's been really supportive, getting co-signs from him, Eric Bellinger. You've gotten some co-signs from some heavyweights in the game.
Oh yeah, that was surreal. Oh my gosh. I was like freaking out the whole time. Like palms were sweaty. Like I was so nervous. But um yeah, I mean to be having conversations with people that I've literally like, I don't know, I've been obsessed with, listened to on repeat, like never even thought like I would meet them or like even have a conversation with them or they would even know who I am or know my music or anything, especially like Eric Bellinger. Like I still can't get over that. Like I've been Eric Bellinger fan for forever. Like honestly, truly. And to just have him become a friend now, it's so crazy. And again, I'm just so grateful to be able to have these experiences and have these relationships and be able to be creative with him because we wrote like another song together outside of Undefeated. But just to like work with him and be creative and be around him and his energy. And Tank, that was crazy. That was actually crazy because I know Tank, he's a hard sell. So to have him, show me any type of love, was just amazing. And I'm, again, really, really grateful to be put in these rooms and put in front of these people. Yeah, it was surreal. Everybody's really cool though, so it was fun though. It was really fun.
Yeah, Tank definitely is someone that's really caring about the craft. I noticed that he
Yeah,
always cares about the craftsmanship of R&B. So yeah, you're in good hands, especially with him giving you that co-sign. He knows. I can just tell by
yeah,
listening to music. And you mentioned Undefeated before with Eric Bellinger off of Stargirl. That's another one. So you got to achieve that
yeah,
collaboration right there. That's big.
yeah, yeah. Very exciting, super surreal, super grateful, super fun.
Yeah. Do you have a music video on the way for you?
We were actually just talking about this today. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We're working on a lot of different things right now. So a lot of stuff is on the way. Trust me, everybody will be satisfied and appeased, and yeah, it'll be really, really great. And just putting intention into everything though. That's the name of the game right now.
An eclipse that's on the way. The sun and the moon can exist. You've spoke about that. Just you can have this similar feelings at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So where did the sun go? I recently that's the name is where did the sun go now? And yeah, I think that it's really just another form of like self-reflection, like me just looking into myself and seeing like the different levels of myself, because even how I was saying before, like I wasn't making the most highest like vibrational music at one point, and like I said, it's valid. You know, all feelings are valid, and everybody sides and different dynamics, and yeah,
Yeah, no, it's tough.
just yeah, different levels to, yeah, different levels of how they feel. And yeah, I think the project is just me touching on all of those different sides of myself, like the fun side and the emotional side, the sad side, the the little spicy side. So definitely just touching on all the different layers to myself, and I feel like there definitely is a separation with some of the songs. If when it comes out, I think everybody will be able to listen and tell. But like, there's like the sun side and then the moon side, and I feel like some of the songs have like a darker undertone, and some of them have a lighter. And I think equally both, reflect who I am, and play a big part on, you know, how I've been processing the last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we just look at everything, because you mentioned earlier that you're grateful now. So, because I think that was something me hearing and just doing research on you from other interviews and reading articles online, was that you were wishing that you were more grateful earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I wouldn't say my frontal lobe is developed now, because I'm not. I know they say it's like 25 is when it like turns on, but like I don't know if it's on now, but I feel like when I first started making music, I was just like not knowing what was going on, just going through the motions, like just this, okay, this, okay, this, okay, this. And I never really was taking moments to digest what I was doing and who I was around and the opportunities I was having, and the people that I was talking to. And I wasn't really, taking it in. I feel like I was kind of just, like I said, going through the motions and taking it as it goes, and not really smelling the roses and taking a minute, and you know taking my time. And yeah, I feel like now, I feel like that's a big thing for me, is sitting, listening, and being calm, and having time with myself to digest what's going on around me, and be grateful, because a lot of people, you know can't do what they would love to do, and I'm doing that right now. So just being grateful, and taking it all in every day. And yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of people, they can't do what they want to do. It's unfortunate, but a lot of times I think it's just a mental block where they're afraid. Because I know a lot of people, they get trapped in their jobs, and then they have the idea of, and always that dream of what they wanted to do, but it's almost, they feel as though that they can't achieve it. But it's a mental block, because you have to feel as though that you can go out there and get it no matter. I really don't. It doesn't matter what the age bracket is. I mean, you just said you're 21, so you're in your early 20s. I always say, like, age shouldn't matter to you. I mean, it gets to a point where if you want to be a singer when you're 50, it may be difficult. I get that, because it's more of a young person's game, but hey, still go for it. But when you're younger, you shouldn't have any blocks that keep you tied down, and you should just go for your dream, because you only live once.
Yeah, YOLO.
Yeah, and there you go. There's a Drake reference for you. uh, but Journey, is there anything else that you want to let the audience know? Anything that we didn't cover here today that you want to speak on?
I mean, You is out now. I know we kind of touched on it, but You is out
Yeah.
now. The project is on the way. More singles on the way. Collaborations are on the way. Yes, I'm making it really tidy and really pretty for everyone. And yeah, I'm really excited. And yeah, I can't wait for everybody to hear what's going on.
Yeah. Where did the sun go?
Yes.
That's the new one.
Yes.
This fall. Are we getting it in the fall still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So very exciting. We got some winter music, when it
Yeah.
gets cold outside.
You got to be in a warm state. Just think, celebrating
I
your release
know.
while everyone's freezing,
I
listening
gotta
to
go
your
to
music.
Jamaica.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not, I don't want to stick around for the cold weather. So I'm praying that I'm out of here very soon. I'm not looking forward to it. So I'll be listening to your new album in hot weather somewhere. And
Yes.
hopefully other people are too. Hopefully maybe some other people
Yes.
will relocate and hibernate.
Okay, grab your boo, get some blankets, and hibernate and listen to Johnny Montana.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Jordy, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a great time speaking with you here tonight about your career, everything you've achieved, and just all the things that you look to accomplish in the near future and in the new album. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you to Andres too. I see he's in there. Shout out to him. That's the guy right there helping us get set up.
Yes, shout out to Andres.
You already know. And I got you, I got your single in my rotation. So once that album drops, I'll be adding that into my
Oh,
station as well. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Of
Okay,
course. I
cool.
look forward to see you on the big screen too. We got to get you in those sci-fi movies.
Yes, I know. I want to be a vampire.
Oh, you want to be that's it. Okay, so now you got me really because sci-fi. I'm not the biggest sci-fi person, but I am a horror guy. I do like so. It's interesting that
Okay.
you want to be a vampire.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I like the little vampire aesthetic. Like I've always been into like vampires and werewolves and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite vampire show or vampire film?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that's top for me too. Yeah, with Sarah
Really?
Michelle
Oh my
Gellar.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
I love it. See, we're
yeah,
here. I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, have you seen the whole show? Have you watched the whole
Oh, several times.
several times? Okay, here's a good one for you. I can't believe I'm doing this. Are you Team Angel or are you Team Spike?
Team Angel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, that's the only right answer is Angel.
Oh,
Literally.
I think it's because of that scene, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And also, yeah, no, I don't like Spike. I'll take Angel over Spike. Wait, are you Team Angel or Team Spike?
Um, aside from that scene, I am Team Spike. I will say that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I look
He's
at
a
because
little bit,
Angel, I'm
yeah.
big on when he turns in season two and he becomes a killer and all. I'm just they messed it up with that. And he's kind of a simp. I'll admit that he's
He
just
is
a
a
simp,
simp.
a sappy simp. So I
Yeah.
kind of, because I'm more on, I'm not what Spike is in that scene, but I'm more of a tough
He's
guy.
a tough guy.
I just feel like
Okay.
Angel is, he's a simp. But I mean, I
That's
respect
why
your
I
opinion.
like him. That's why
It's
I
because
like
he's a
him. I love a simp.
simp. He's a simp, and then he cuts things off with her in season three, and then
Yeah.
leaves. Like, it's just
Yeah. I did
great.
hate that.
How do you feel about the ending of that show? I think they mailed it. I think they phoned it in with the ending. I don't think the last seasons is great.
Yeah, I don't love the last season. You know what I don't like? I don't like when they bring her back from the dead. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, after season. So did you like that ending to where when she sacrificed herself and you think they should because they were supposed to leave it at that, I heard.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't really have much opinions on the ending. Those that I don't really like the last two seasons are kind of like for me. Yeah.
It's the first five for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't like the military storyline though. The
What?
military with the college.
What? The college storyline eats. I love the college storyline. Riley, I loved all of it. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
he's a hated character.
what?
He's
I love
right.
Riley.
You
But Buffy did Riley dirty in the end though.
you think so?
Yeah. She did him. I don't know. It's controversial. It's controversial. But honestly, I've been hearing that they're doing like a Buffy reboot. So I've been
And maybe you should audition for that.
I
Be
know
the
that
next Buffy. Yeah, because I don't think she's coming back. I think she's
yeah,
done with
no.
it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I definitely have been on the lookout for that because yeah.
Yeah.
I I'm here.
Yeah, that's a classic show, I'll tell you, from the nine. I think that's a top 90 show for me when I look at it. People are missing
Yeah.
out. People laugh at, oh, you like this. No, it actually has a good storyline to it.
Yeah, I agree. I love finding people who love Buffy. It's like you get it. You get it.
Yeah, it's classic. Yes,
Classic.
yeah, you got to go out for that and audition for it.
Yes, definitely. 100%. I mean, if anybody knows, anybody, you know, hit me up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, make sure she'd be the perfect Buffy. I'm telling you. All right, Journey Montana. Let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and social media and all that as well, because we didn't get into that before. Make sure they can follow you on all the social platforms.
Yeah, you guys can find me on everything at Journey Montana, JourneyMontana. You can find me on all stream platforms, Journey Montana, on TikTok, Journey Montana 2. And yeah, that's me.
There you go. Journey, thanks again. Anytime, you're always welcome back on the show. Thank you to Andres, of course. I look forward to the upcoming album and then You and Buffy, and just on the big screen.
Yes, thank you. So nice to meet you. Thank you for
Of
having me.
course, anytime. It was nice to meet you as well. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. I look forward to everything you got on the way.
All right, you too.
All
Thank you.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.